What's up, YouTube? This is Toby from Team S2N. Coming at you with a deck profile after my my beautiful case came in, Rummy Labyrinth. Special shout out to South Korea for helping me fix that stuff. This is gonna be my Nightrose deck profile. It's crazy to me that most of the stuff in the set you're not really gonna use in your Nightrose. Mainly your strides kind of switch up a little bit, but the main stuff in your deck, aside from like Nightrose and maybe one other card, don't really change anything. This is my competitive deck that I'm planning on taking to a few tournaments, trying out and everything. I play tested it a few times. It's done actually pretty well. All right, let's get into it. Of course, your starters, Grenache. Like, if you play anything else, like if you play two starters, that's cool, but Grenache should always be your starting because he's Grenache. He countercharges and everything. We've gone over his effect and people have so many times. I'm gonna just shortcut it. Hollow, GB, dies in turn, countercharge to live your life, love your life. I'm going to the grade 3s. I run 1, Nightstorm. Nightstorm's ability is a hollow ability. When it's placed on Vanguard, you can counterblast 1 and Soul Blast 1. When you counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, check the top 5 for our unit with a hollow, add it to your hand. I don't run more than him because I never want him to be on the Vanguard circle because I cry because it shuts down all the rest of your abilities in the deck. So fuck that. Rearguard ability though is when he is placed and he is hollow at the end of the battle that he attacked, you can counterblast 1 and call a unit to another spot, not on him. So he allows you to proc more attacks, to get a few other hollow things off. If say at the end of the turn you decide to attack, you need the countercharge, bring out your boy Grenache. Get it done. I run 2 Starlight Nightrose. Look at that SP, baby. I run 2 of the Starlight Nightroses. I actually really think she's like the best grade 3 that came out of that Rummy Labyrinth one. I'm not impressed with Hari. Y'all know I love Pale Moons. Her ability on Vanguard at GB2, or Vanguard or Rearguard actually, whenever a unit is brought from the drop zone, you can, not her, when it's brought from the drop zone, Soul Blast 1, you can call a grade 1 in the same column as her. Her on stride ability is when you stride on top of her, you counterblast 1, and you can call a unit from your drop zone after you mill up to 3 of the top cards. If you call a unit and it's a hollow unit, it gets a +3. And +3 is really good if you're trying to proc your hollow ability, say Grenache. I'm gonna keep bringing him up, he's fucking amazing. You can get that off too. And I run 2 of these because I want to have the Nightrose name as much as humanly possible. And of course, the original Nightrose, the OG, that SP, baby. I run her at 4 because to me, I like her a little bit better. I can run this at 2, so when I do happen to mill this off, I can still get the rearguard ability off, so it's not really a necessity to have it on the Vanguard. But hers, of course, GB2, something dies, mill 3, it comes back with a vengeance. When you stride over it, counterblast 1, call a unit and it gets +2. Freaking love them. And the synergy in this deck is absolutely crazy, especially the fact that now you have your grade 3s. You have 3 grade 3s that allow you to make columns if you need to make columns. Say Nightstorm swing, Nightstorm resolves, bring this out. Say you have another unit that calls something, or say she's on the board. Nightstorm swings into the battle, counterblast 1, call a unit, call that unit, this unit calls a unit. So you can call your boy Grenache. I'm gonna keep bringing them up. Call Grenache, her ability proc, Soul Blast 1, call Negro Bone, call the new P-Shield if you decide to run it, activate the hollow abilities, everything goes off, everything dies. It's legit, absolutely legit. All right, grade 2s, 2 King Serpents, 8Ks. This is your countercharge engine in the deck. When it comes from the drop zone, Soul Charge 1, countercharge, sets up a lot of your plays and resets things. Say you decide to stride over Nightrose, really doesn't matter which one. You stride over the Nightrose, get its ability to counterblast used for Nightrose. It will make up for it by bringing out King Serpent so you can set up stuff, place a Negro Bone behind him, combos go off. Also run 3 Skeleton Cannoneers. Hollow ability, when it's brought back from the drop zone, you can, and it's hollow, counterblast 1, kill one of your opponent's rear guards, you can draw a card. I run 3 because I want to see him as much as humanly possible, and I'm trying to break myself out of going into the ghosty Stride, even though he's so fucking amazing. I'm trying to break myself out of that. But this comes out, all kinds of crazy combos you can do. They have them on YouTube everywhere, especially with the G-Guard on Nightrose. So many crazy abilities that you can actually do. And I may end up going into a few of those a little bit later on in the profile. Also, 3 Negro Rooks. It's a 16K beater, GB. Why not run it? And it's a hollow unit. No more to say about it. Witch Doctor. This is this lazy Negro running this deck. He's not lazy at all, actually. I don't even know why people call him that. He's amazing. When he's called Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, Hollow GB, he gets to call a grade 2 or lower. He calls the grade 2 or lower, then also gets the ability at the end of the turn, if he's still on the board, you can countercharge Soul Charge, and he becomes an 11K once you place him and all that. So he works really well in a lot of the combos too. Grade 1s, I run 2 bells. If you have a Nightrose Vanguard and this is retired during your battle phase, you can countercharge 1. When it dies during battle, put it to the bottom, countercharge 1. If it's brought back from the drop zone, it gets +2, so it's a 9K. So if you bring it back for an effect or for some of the combos I'm gonna show you, not only is it a 9K, but it's also a countercharger, which allows you to push a little bit harder for damage. I'm running these now. I like Jin, he's cool, countercharge, it's amazing, but I've said countercharge like 17 times in this deck profile already. So I don't think it's that big of a deal when it comes to countercharge. You just have to know how to manage your stuff. But Seawall, she is a P-Shield, hollow, can guard anything. At the end of the turn, if she's hollow and she dies due to her hollow ability, you can Soul Blast 1, choose a card from your hand, discard it. If you have another copy of her in your drop zone, you can put that copy to the bottom of your deck when she dies, and you can add her back to your hand. So you can cycle P-Shields back into the deck when you need them, and you can actually add P-Shields to your hand. So it's like, it's really good. 4 Stride Fighters. That SP, keep that on top. That's super smexy. It's a Stride Fighter. Search for Nightrose. Either one that you choose to search for is there. Happiness. Witch Doctor, Negro Bone. This is what's going to basically proc all your multi-attacks. Generation Break. Whenever it boosts a unit, at the end of the turn, you can counterblast 1, retire that unit, and call a hollow ability. Now, of course, this needs to have a Nightrose. Lazy needs to have a Nightrose. Bell's ability for it to go off needs to have a Nightrose. That's why I run my Nightroses at the amount that I do. Next, I run 4 Make the Ghosties. I'm still thinking about possibly making this deck 6 stand, 6 crit, but I'm still kind of experimenting with it. He's another hollow unit. When he's placed from the drop zone, GB, you give a unit plus 10K. Then when he's removed from the field, it allows you to put him back into your deck, and then you shuffle. He's good for putting triggers back in the deck when you need them. He's great for giving an extra 10K power, and I'm gonna show you a few combos with that. I run 4 Rampant Shades. It's the normal, all your GB, all the GB units have it. Crit trigger, 4K, when your Vanguard attacks, put into the soul, gets +5 if you have the Vanguard with a specific name, this one being Nightrose. I run 4 Rough Seas Banshees, put into the soul, draw a card. It's basically your Psychic Bird for Granblue, and allows you to use your soul, so you can use your Negro Lazy, so you can use a few of your other cards too. Oh, a new Nightrose, Starlight, she's amazing. And 4 Hill Triggers, because I want to stay alive. Yeah, we'll go with that. Alright, for the G-Zone, I like all these Negroes. We're going to go with Negro mode first. Negro mode, G-Guard. New G-Guard that was just released in the Rummy Labyrinth set. When it's placed, you can Soul Blast 1. Reason I love this card, you Soul Blast 1, it's a 15K G-Guard. You Soul Blast 1, if you have 5 in your drop zone, it gets an extra 5. If you have 10 in your drop zone, it adds another extra 5. If you have 15 or more in your drop zone, it adds an extra another 5. For G-Guard Soul Blast, it can be a 30K shield. And with how Granblue plays the mechanic, that's really easy. You can do that by like turn 3 or 4, depending on how aggressively you play your deck. Deep Corpse Dragon, another G-Guard, 15K, gets an extra 5K if you mill the top 2 when you G-Guard with it. Negro Lily, Is this my SP? Yeah. SP Negro Lily. Guard with her, counterblast 1, retire a unit, then you can call a normal ghosty unit, and she ends up getting an extra 10k, so it's a 25k shield. Now, you can do a lot of crazy combos with her. Like I said, I'm going to show you some of the pretty stuff. Now, I only run 3 G-Guards right now. I'm thinking about going a little bit higher, but it's not really a hardcore necessity since this is such an aggressive deck. A lot of times I only G-Guard when it's like absolutely needed, or I need to do and set up different build abilities and stuff like that. Obadiah the Ghosty, when he's placed, search your deck for 3 cards, dump 3 cards. If 2 out of those 3 are hollow units, you can call a normal ghosty unit. So you can call your Bill, you can call your Stride Fodder. It just depends on what you need behind it. And it's extra 7k just for calling. It's really good, and it sets up your drop zone. I run 2 of the new guy, Pirate Redemption Dragon. Sexy, absolutely fucking sexy. His ability is an act ability. You counterblast 2 and choose a card from your hand and discard it. And then after you activate his ability, for every one of your rear guards, you choose a unit in your drop zone, call them over those rear guards. Then for every hollow unit that you call, you can choose one of your opponent's rear guards and it dies. Then if your opponent has no rear guards after you resolve his ability, you can draw a card. So it resets the board if there's stuff in your drop zone that you wanted to bring out. Say you wanted to go into your Mick the Ghosties, or say you wanted to bring back King Serpent, so you can get your soul charges to set up other attacks, or you needed a Negro Bone to reset a few things up. You can easily set up your field and purposely kill things off. So when his ability resolves, everything goes off. And I run 2 of those right now. I think 2 is really good for a field reset and wiping your opponent's field, and you draw 1 card. I'm like, it's good. I also run 2 of the Nightrose Strides. GB2, just like Dragon. She swings, counterblast 2, flip a copy, choose 2 units, call them the separate rows, well, different rows, and yeah, got extra attacks. It's counterblast 2. If you need to call Grenache because you want to set up for the next turn, call Grenache, call one other unit at the end of the turn, everything works out. A combo I really like to do is swing with her, counterblast 2, and then the cards that I normally call would be a Witch Doctor, Negro Lazy, and a Grenache, and then Negro Lazy's ability to resolve, counterblast 1, then I'll call a Negro Rook. So I've set up 2 separate columns, and I'll be able to countercharge 3 at the end of the turn. So basically paying for hers plus 1, and it gives me 2 more 16k attacks. Really good. For Gooch, just cause Gooch is freaking amazing. If you need to stride it first to go into GB2 because your drop zone set up, great. If you don't, later game, amazing too. When it's placed, counterblast 1, soul blast 1, flip a copy of himself. And then once you resolve that, you can choose how many cards in your soul you want to soul blast and call those many units back. And then for each face-up unit in your G-zone, the units that you call get plus 1,000. So it's really good for setup. It's really good for soul blasting, setting up your drop zone, and it's really good for getting a little bit of power on the board. New one is Negro Songer. Right now, I'm running Negro at 4. I personally really like this unit. My normal strides, if I don't need to stride into Obadiah, will always be Gooch, and then it'll be Negro Songer. Negro Songer's ability, auto at the end of his attack that it battled, you counterblast 1, choose a card from your hand and discard it. Then you can look at the top 4 cards, put 1 into the drop zone, put the other ones back in the deck and shuffle. Then you can call a unit. And then once you call that unit gets plus 5 for every face-up G unit in your G zone. So say you call a Negro Rook, which is a base 16, and say with his own ability you flip 1. Say this is like your 3rd stride. This your 3rd stride, you'll have, say you go Gooch, that's 2. And then say you go into another Gooch, that's another 2. And then you go into this, you have 5 face up. So realistically, you're getting plus 25k on your 16k. That's a 41k line. If it's got Negro Bone behind it, it's a 53k line, and you get the counter blast, reset up your board. It's really good, really, really amazing. Granblue, baby.